one community, 3 tiers, 44 teams, and nearly 200 matches played. It's all led to this. Welcome to the playoffs, where the pretenders get eliminated, no second chances are given, and only the strong will survive. We'll see dominant performances, we'll see rivals clash, and we'll see shocking upsets. Players and teams of all skill levels have practiced for months to get here, giving it everything they have, but at the end of the day, only one will achieve: tranquility.
Good evening, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the quarterfinals here in the Overwatch Tranquility community. The question we're answering tonight is whether or not Corvidity will be like Beyonce and be putting a ring on continuing their hot playoff streak as they face off against UnKomitted tonight. Despite being uncommitted, the team has had 2 weeks off and are well known for their aggressive scrimming schedule. Will they finally be the ones to shut down Corvidity? Well, we're getting ready to find out, as I'm your play-by-play for the evening, Captain Jack, along with our analyst that's always on the ball, Vol, and Booth holding down production. Vol, what are you looking forward to this evening?
I am very excited to watch Corvidity continue this absolutely spectacular run they're having through the playoffs. Coming in from the wild card round, getting 2 absolutely massive upsets, especially last week, I believe 4-1 over Exiles, a team quite a few people had going into the finals, it looked like, in some brackets.
Yeah, this has been a huge turnaround right here. Looking at the records of the regular season for either side, Corvidity coming into this 4-6 with UnKomitted, currently sitting at 6-2. Now, this is UnKommitted's first playoffs match, as we've been doing all the wild cards the past couple of weeks. So, with Corvidity being such an upset going into the playoffs, do you think they have what it takes to take down a 4th seed like UnKomitted?
That's going to be I think they do, but that's going to be a very, very tough thing to do. You know, they do have this, they have some new changes that they've made lately, and this new composition that they've been running, this dive-heavy composition the last couple of weeks, is very aggressive, and unless you're very, very coordinated, it can be tough to deal with. And I know that, you know, a team like UnKomitted, obviously they are uncommitted. They don't really scrim, they don't really practice. That's why they're UnKomitted.
I mean, but if you're good, you're good. I mean, you don't get that 4th place spot without at least being very good at least communication and knowing how to work throughout the game. Our bans for this evening are going to be Tracer, May, Moira, and Orisa. So if we see any double shields, it's going to be more of a Rhine Sigma composition. But as you said, Corvidity definitely been on that dive kick, which is more than capable of continuing to work despite the losses we see. Let's go ahead and introduce our starting lineups for the evening. Corvidity coming in with Khan, Kyo, Legs, Sorcery Pepe, Dead Optics, and Jackrabbit. With UnKomitted coming in with Ice, Andy Slam, Peter, S6G, Sentinel, Shiro, and Kouros. As we make it to our first map of the evening, we're headed to Nepal Shrine for our first one tonight. Definitely going to be interesting to see how they're going to set this up, as we've got some interesting comps coming in. What do you see there, Vol?
Yeah, we see some a fairly open map here, and here we see the bane of ult trackers everywhere, the Echo. Echo with her ultimate can turn into anybody on the map and then get her ultimate in 4 seconds again. So it can cause a lot of chaos. We see a lot of like double Rhine, get some double Shatters in there, causes a lot of chaos on the battlefield.
All right, well, let's see if it will be effective. Peter is coming in on that McCree to look and see if they can keep Sorcery Pepe out of the sky. Already we see Shiro working their way into the backline as that Reaper, but gonna have to escape using that ray. Peter gonna take down Sorcery. The Shatter already coming in from Andy Slam, and it's a big one, cleaning up everyone on the field except for Legs. Mini Diva State gets staggered out. That's a team kill as the percentage starts going to the UnKomitted.
Yeah, UnKomitted showing just how strong they are on this brawl composition. Just coming out, swinging early, swinging often, getting Shatter before the point even unlocks. Dead Optics still only at 70%. Andy Slam already working towards the second. And that was one of the battles that I was looking forward to, is both this tank line battle, because like we mentioned on Corvidity, a little bit more dive, so I don't know how they're going to do in this brawl.
All right, well, they're moving their way back in as the Nano ends up going in onto Shiro, taking down Jackrabbit, gets traded for Peter right there as they get the D-Mech onto Legs, but Legs and Sentinel will go ahead and trade kills of their own as Andy Slam taking down Con and Dead Optics. We are going to see the UnKomitted continue to hold the objective 50% and climb.
Yeah, no ults used on either side, though, so now we are going to have quite the fight coming up. We're going to have a Nano Boost, a Earth Shatter, an Echo Duplicate, and we'll be very close to Death Blossom and Beat on the side of Corvidity, whereas we are going to have all 5 except for Nano, and we should get Nano mid-fight from Ice. So, who can have the better ult economy? You want to try to win this only using 2, maybe 3 ultimates.
All right, well, the first Q already gets popped as Peter coming in with the Deadeye. Gets nothing but shield as the Diva Bomb that went out into left field ends up getting the double kill there onto Sorcery and Jackrabbit. Blossom coming in from Shiro ends up getting shut down as well. But all ultimates stay online for the side of Corvidity. Not a single Q press, and they are moving into final fight territory.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to have a tough touch. They're going to try to get this Yep, okay, so she's going to copy the Diva and then go in. Give still some extra meat. Oh!
But another big slam from Andy Slam ends up preventing anything from happening as the Sticky Mines end up grabbing Ice. Everyone else is falling on the field for the side of Corvidity. Andy Slam coming back in with that hammer. Gets Con as the Deadeye keeps him off the objective. 100-0 for the side of UnKomitted here on Shrine.
Yeah, what a statement coming out from UnKomitted. On that map. They may not practice, but damn it, they're still really, really good at this video game.
Well, that could all change as we head into Sanctum, the Boop Central of Nepal. If with Orisa not in the fight, you do have a couple of other tanks that you can use. A couple other tanks and supports that you can use to get some boops. I guess you could get some DPS action in here too, but with the way that Peter's been playing that McCree, definitely not advising the Far Mercy here. But it looks like the only committed boops we're gonna get are coming from our dueling Lucios, Kyo, and Kouros. Let's go ahead and see which
Shiro
will be stronger.
Shiro, man after my own heart with that Torbjorn pick right there, and try to put this extra pressure on the shield. Let's see how effective it can be with that off angle.
All right, as we see the Torb taking the side with the turret, they're going to go ahead and continue to push in. Sorcery getting the pick onto Shiro's turret, so now they don't have to worry about that extra damage coming in from the backline. Peter getting picked off by Legs as they and Shiro just come in by themselves on the other side without their tanks. Corvidity going to go ahead and grab the objective, as right now UnKomitted just seems to be, well, uncommitted to taking the objective right now.
How long were you waiting for that one?
I mean, I knew it was going to come. I just knew it was coming.
But a quick echo
on either side, though, as we see the Shatter coming in from Andy Slam. Not going to be able to follow up on it, though. Dead Optics does end up falling to Peter right there as they start moving their way into the objective. Peter just getting pick after pick as they get the shutdown there onto Con. Control now going to go over to the UnKomitted with 30% for Corvidity.
Yeah, and I really like this from UnKomitted already. As soon as they get the point, they push up extremely far right into this point. And so that way, even if they have the backup, they still have this turret and a very nice angle, protecting them from the flank, protecting them, the healers in the back, protecting that backline. Very, very strong composition here. Able to exert both backline and frontline pressure.
All right, well, they're already moving their way back in. Corvidity coming in with the Dragon Strike from Sorcery, but the beat drop from Kouros gonna put everything going good. Ice ends up getting slapped as the Nano goes in onto Andy Slam, but it looks like they are going to continue to hold on. Khan able to get the pick onto Peter, going into that side door, looking to see if they can get a pick of their own, and with only the Deadeye online for the UnKomitted, it is going to be hard for them to continue to hold this objective.
Yeah, I think Dead Optics was a little surprised. They're expecting Andy to fall into that dragon as he wasn't really trying to get out of it, but instead gets a beat drop and then gets a nano boost and just starts swinging into Dead Optics and eventually winning that Rhine fight.
All right, well, the Deadeye comes online as the beat drop looking to save the day. The trigger doesn't get pulled, though, so not going to be seeing that shield drop as the Shatter from Andy ends up going straight into Dead Optic shield. Diva Bomb now going into the backline as now the Deadeye gets popped for Khan, looking to see if they can clean up. Only gets a little bit of damage. No cleanup in the backline, though. Khan able to take down Shiro, but Khan and Kyo will end up falling there on the objective as well. Is still in control of the UnKomitted, 90% and climbing right now, as the only one near the objective is Legs, getting demexed and now staggered off the objective as overtime ticks away.
Yeah, and just excellent job done. Actually, I want to shout out a huge sleep from Ice there. When Dead Optics went for a shatter, trying to shatter the backline, just turns, hits him with that sleep dart, says, "Nighty night, we're going to finish cleaning up the rest of this, and then we'll get back to you."
And the UnKomitted completely locking down Nepal, starting their streak to shut down Corvidity tonight. Play of the game going to Sentinel tonight with a beautiful Diva play right here, just cleaning up on first point. Shrine right here, just getting in, sucking up a whole bunch of damage so the rest of the team can get aggressive right there. That's absolutely beautiful work coming in from Sentinel. I gotta say, UnKomitted is showing to be a very strong force despite their quote-unquote aggressive, competitive practice schedule. Corvidity, despite being able to win their way out of the wildcard bracket, now looking to be a bit sparse when it comes to fighting their first opponent in the actual playoffs.
Yeah, that was quite the, I guess, quite the wake-up call for the side of Corvidity there. I don't think they were expecting that level of aggression coming out from them, and just weren't ready for it. They, like we said, we mentioned earlier that they were more of a dive style team, but let's see how they do on something like they picked Anubis, so you can't kind of dive first point there.
Which is
see how they do.
That is actually kind of interesting because based on my notes, they have lost previously on Temple of Anubis due to their dedication to the dive and just not being able to lock it down on the defense. So I'm wondering, is Corvidity looking to change things up and maybe run a more deathball style comp that we see coming out from UnKomitted? Or are they looking to utilize the dive on the attack and maybe swap over to something more practical for the defense? The thing that continues to shut them down every time they go in, though, is Peter is just incredibly well off with that McCree, just absolutely getting picks left, right, and center, stunning anyone that gets anywhere close to their tanks so that they can just aggressively take them out of the picture. It's going to be interesting to see what Corvidity's plan is going into Temple of Anubis.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it back in early 2018, maybe even before that. Seoul Dynasty, I know, like to do a little bit of dive defense here. Before that, Miro for Team South Korea loved playing Winston on defense here, but that kind of style has fallen out of favor for this more traditional standing on this high ground, standing on this bridge with a shield, with some spam composition, but with no Orisa we won't be seeing, something like the Arista Sigma double shield spam. So you might see something akin to dive. You might see a Rhine Sigma, but I don't know how much that's going to work for this team. And we see coming out a more traditional brawl comp, I guess, from this with a little bit of poke. I guess they got the Baptiste on the side of.
Yeah, it looks like they're sticking to a very traditional comp for the most part. Dead Optics and Legs opting for the Rhine Diva, been absolutely popular. Khan gonna take their chance at some Torbjorn action, as well as Melt's coming in on that McCree. It's definitely looking to be a good composition. The only issue is that Dead Optics is kind of, dead in the water on that high ground. Can't really get aggressive, can't do anything until the team pushes in there. And we're going to be seeing a dive coming in from UnKomitted, so let's see if they are well committed to diving together.
Yeah, Ryan can't really do much on that high ground except throw out the occasional fire strike. But he has to be careful when he chooses to do that, because a lot of smart Anas will save a sleep dart, save a bio grenade right when that happens and sneak one of those in.
Let's go ahead and see if they can make it happen. Already UnKomitted, pushing them back into the objective right now. Melt's able to get the first pick onto Shiro right there, as Dead Optics taking down Peter with the fire strike, and Andy Slam with that big old hammer, locking down everybody in that room. Dead Optics is a man on a mission with that golden hammer, shutting down that push and taking a minute off the clock.
Yeah, that is one of the downsides of diving into a Reinhardt. Is Reinhardt kind of wants you really, really close to him. He kind of digs it. As long as you're within hammer range, he is a very happy German man.
Yep, I think really he's more like a German Olaf. He just likes warm hugs, and those hugs happen to be with a big old piece of steel that he swings at your face.
You and I have a very different definition of the word hug.
The high noon already coming out from Melts, ends up getting the pick onto Kouros right there, as we see the swap of Andy Slam over to the Rhine to push onto the high ground. Peter is online with the blade as well as Ice with the nano. Looks like we might be seeing some nano blade action if they can successfully get through this choke point right now. 2 minutes off the clock as they are continuing to kind of battle it back and forth. The Molten Core just littering that high ground, is pushing UnKomitted back. Fat Shatter comes out from Dead Optics, but nobody to clean it up as the fire strike from Andy Slam takes him down. Nano Blade coming out from Peter, goes into the backline, gets 2, 3. Kouros following up on Jackrabbit. The only one left to defend the objective right now is Legs, doing some cute 360 action in the air. Gonna go ahead and get staggered as they grab Objective Alpha with 1:30 on the clock.
That was some great coordination there on the side of UnKomitted. I don't know if we were able to catch on the camera, but right before the Nano Blade went out, Shiro teleported to the opposite high ground and just harassed both supports as this Reaper, forcing them to use their cooldowns on themselves instead of the team. So when that Nano Blade went out, there was nothing to help sustain outside of basic heals.
All right, well, let's go ahead and see if they can make it happen again. Peter has swapped over to the McCree, Vice the Genji for this next push. Amplification Matrix now coming out from Tio as they go ahead and push them off. Melts, absolutely melting Andy Slam as Khan goes ahead and works their way into that backline, getting another pick onto Peter. With both of them out of the fight right now, the rest of UnKomitted is going to go ahead and make their way back to the spawn with another minute off the clock.
Yeah, just absolutely deleted him from the server. Melts, as soon as that Baptiste window went up, that amplification matrix, he just focused in on that Reinhardt along with the rest of the team. That's what you need on something like that. Something that amplifies your damage. If you're all shooting the same target, no amount of healing is going to keep them alive.
Nope, just nothing that could be done. Let's go ahead and see what they're going to move in with the Diva Bomb, it looks like. Gets all but shield as Andy Slam able to get that pick onto Dead Optics there at the end. Diva Bomb now coming in for Legs. Gets nothing but shield as well, but the anti-nade does get used on Andy Slam to delete any additional healing that Nano could have provided. Peter getting aggressive as the slam coming in from Andy Slam takes down a D-Mech legs. And Peter just absolutely taking out everyone on that McCree. The High Noon takes down the shield of Dead Optics. Now the High Noon getting slapped from Melts, and Peter ends up taking Melts out of the picture right now. Legs coming back in as the ball just to try to contest on the objective. 2.5 minutes remaining on the clock as Andy Slam takes down Khan with the fire strike. Shiro following up onto Jackrabbit, and it is just a sea of red right now on objective Bravo. 2 minutes, 18 seconds on the clock as UnKomitted grabs objective B.
Yeah, well done. I was a little bit nervous when Shiro went down mid-fight, and usually all it takes is one pick from the defending team. They have that huge spawn advantage. But excellent coordination, great focus fire on the side of UnKomitted there, making sure that they were able to maintain the numbers advantage that they had, because more often than not, we kind of all see it in our matches, of course, more often, solo queue on the ladder, but, you lose one person on the attack, and then, oh man, you get 2 more kills, but then they get 1 more pick onto one of your guys, and then you kind of just don't get any progress, and now you're sitting there for 2 minutes. But excellent job. Very well done. I am excited to see what they pull on the defense, though, and we see Shiro coming back out on this Torb again. Great pick. I absolutely love it.
It's definitely. I always feel like people underestimate the power of Torb, even with the new kit that he's gotten probably a little over a year ago now. It just makes him such a more sustainable character. I just think people don't know how to use him effectively, especially like right now. You see the thrown turret up onto the high ground. Great placement for Torb's ability to be able to just throw turrets into places that it could never get before. And all it does is just kind of pick at that damage a little bit in that backline over and over again, just enough for them to continue to hold. But it looks like we're going to get some dive action coming in here from Corvidity as they go ahead and push their way into the choke, or attempt to anyway. They're going to start moving their way in as we see Dead Optics moving their way onto the high ground, gets a little bit of poke damage as that Torb turret working their way on the rest of the team. Peter will get the pick on to Khan as Melt's taking down Shiro's Torb turret, but Dead Optics soon to follow as Melt's also falling to Sentinel, coming out with that double shield composition. They're going to go ahead and separate out the healers of Corvidity and stagger them pretty much beyond belief at this point.
Oh, this is bullying.
Yeah, this is bullying on the highest level right now. Jackrabbit does get taken out at the end, but they're going to go ahead and move their way back and wait to get Jackrabbit back into the fight.
Keo over there just chilling on second point.
What?
Just vibing. He's just vibing.
What is Keo just like hanging out away from the rest of the team?
Just chilling, man. He's just chilling.
Alrighty then. Well, it looks like they're coming in with a big boop. Doesn't get a whole lot out of it, unfortunately, but Dead Optics has chosen to swap back over to the Reinhardt. Deadeye now coming in from Peter, looking to see if they can take down that shield, but using the environment to their advantage, they are going to successfully negate any damage that would have came in from that Deadeye. Trying to aggressively push through this choke. Sentinel ends up getting the pick onto Dead Optics, and that's going to go ahead and shut down that entire push. A huge anti-nade from Ice reels Corvidity back to spawn to wait for their fallen comrade.
Yeah, UnKomitted doing an excellent job just creating so many different angles of fire. They've got this Torb turret on the balcony thing there, just, from the top left. They've got Ana, and they had McCree up near the Ana up until this last fight. Just creating that another line of fire from the right-hand side. And then they got everybody stacking up the middle. They've got the Torbjorn. You've got the Sigma with his orbs. Just so many different things, so many different places that they have to look, so many different things they have to deal with, and they just can't. You just can't deal with that many different lines of fire.
Yep, you got to pick one target at a time right now, and it looks like the Torb turret going to be the first to fall as they go ahead and take that out in preparation. They got 10 seconds to make their way into the objective as we see Ice go ahead and drop down to the rest of the team. Dead Optics now on the objective, trying to battle it out against Andy Slam, but the Molten Core ends up hitting the objective as well. Rabbinic Flux coming in from Sentinel. Doesn't seem to get a whole lot of value, though, as the deaths are already coming in. Huge anti-nade comes in from Jackrabbit, but at that point, it is already too late. Only a minute remaining on the clock, and Corvidity yet to get a tick on Objective Alpha.
And that is the unfortunate thing. If you play around this Nano Blade, force comp, where you're just relying on that to win the fight, and then it gets countered by just another enemy ultimate, it's just all that time they spent 3 minutes building up that combination and got nothing for it. And now they have one last push here with very few ultimates.
That's true, but
I don't know.
They're tied up, though, which I think is good. We ended up seeing 3 ultimates come out for the side of UnKomitted. The High Noon now coming out for Peter, as well as the rally from Kouros. Shatter, though, comes out from both Dead Optics and Andy Slam with a B-drop to save the day. Legs with the Diva Bomb takes down Ice as Khan ends up getting the double kill. First tick on the objective right now with only 5 seconds remaining. The only one left near the objective right now is Sentinel, and they're going to go ahead and make their way back to Objective Bravo as 2.5 minutes get added to the time bank of Corvidity.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. That was a very big Diva Bomb and a very big Shatter on the side of Corvidity there, helping them take the point. Now, unfortunately, I think even if they win this fight, they probably still end up with a little bit less time because there will be some stall coming out. But UnKomitted looking to hold here, looking to take this map and go up 2-0.
All right, Shiro incredibly low, able to race back to the safety of the team. Kouros throwing out those health packs. The stun comes in as the Nano going in. Blossom! Khan in the backline gets the double as Shiro just taking a nap off the objective thanks to Jackrabbit. They're looking to see if they can take him down as Sentinel ends up getting picked by Khan and is now going to fight against Shiro in that side room. Going to be successful. Get 2 ticks on the objective as we see the touch once again from Andy Slam. High Noon comes out, gets a little bit of damage. Now Gravitic Flux coming out from the spawn. Sentinel able to grab 4. To save them right now. Keo and Melt end up getting taken down, and that is going to be a cleanup of the objective. The only 2 left to hold on are Khan and Jackrabbit, and they'll be soon to follow, ringing out the team kill and shaving another 1.5 minutes off the clock.
Some of the lower tier teams to take notice of what they did, how they chose to stall that out. They willingly gave up 2 ticks. Andy could have touched after the first tick and gotten in there, and they could have stalled out for a little bit and probably would have lost after staggering. But what they did, he waited around the corner, waited until 4. They had 4 teammates, not a full 6, but still enough. And they were able to push in as a unit and create a distraction while Peter used the Deadeye and then made room for the Flux coming in. So you can give up room. You don't have to just immediately go to point.
That is true, but it also puts you in a bad position for the retake. Diva Bomb now going in, but the Immortality's up. Oh! Just barely. Now Shatter, Blossom coming in. Khan just cleaning up the objective despite getting stunned out by Kouros. Melt's going to grab the last pick with a punch on Ice, and it'll be a minute on the clock as they grab objective number 2, giving now UnKomitted 2 minutes and 28 seconds for their attack.
Yeah, and given what happened on their first attack, I'm not feeling too confident with Corvidity on this 1 minute push that they're going to have, and I would like to see the comp that they actually took with come right out. I want them to go with that brawl comp because that dive comp they had just takes too long to set up. You're not going to build Nano Blade in time, and I feel like you get a little bit more snowball. Yes, with the changes to 2CP, you can't really snowball anymore with the 3-second spawns, but you can get better ult economy snowball going into second point with Brawl, I feel like.
And I feel like that's something that they can definitely work with. I mean, even so, Khan and Melt's coming in on that Reaper Doomfist once again was literally taking them down every time they went into the fight on Objective Bravo. If it wasn't for that big old Flux that came in, they probably would have taken that point just a little bit sooner by the immense amount of damage that they have coming out, though. Kouros still sticking on that Brig for this fight. Pretty good to use with both Melts and Khan being able to stun them out along with Peter as they come in for attacks. Let's see if they can make it happen. The double shield back on the defense with only a minute on the clock.
Yeah, like you said, that Brig Bash can be absolutely devastating, especially if Khan gets a big die going, and all of a sudden, no.
Ooh. Kyo falling incredibly low right there as they push onto the high ground. Do take down Shiro's turret as they move their way back in once again. Closest ultimate we have on the field right now is Shiro's Molten Core. They're now pushing their way onto the high ground. Shiro is just going to be a force to be reckoned with, getting the double kill right there along with the turret. They're going to go ahead and clean up the objective right now.
Oh, don't do this to
Only one
Jack.
left to be able to touch is going to be Jackrabbit, and I think they're going to try to stall this out as much as they can so that they can get into overtime. There it goes. The stun coming in from either side. Molten Core already on the field for Shiro, just laying out the red carpet. Ends up taking down Melt and Kyo as they try to hold on to the objective. Andy Slam gets the pick onto legs. High Noon holds over the objective, a glowing McCree, and will not have a single tick for the side of Corvidity.
Now, Corvidity can still draw this out. Don't lose hope, all you Corvidity fans. They have not lost the map yet. They can still get the full hold here. And I did like the composition they came out on. I do like that. That Reaper Doomfist, they saw success on that on the first, on the last pushes on the first go round. And I felt like that still gave them the best chance to take that point. But that was just a very, very sneaky turret spot, I think, from Shiro up on this, I don't know, that covering and that high ground to where it can still shoot point. That was very, very sneaky. And let's see what they come out with, though, on the defense.
I think the thing that I was surprised about during that last push was the fact that Dead Optics and Legs were in opposite positions that I expected them to be. With Legs being on the Diva, I would expect them to be the one diving onto the high ground while the Rhine takes the objective. But you actually saw that in opposite. Dead Optics decided to get aggressive and advance onto the high ground while Legs was on the objective.
Yeah, he's really feeling it on that Reinhardt right now.
I guess. I mean, I know how it is wanting to swing that hammer so bad, but sometimes providing that little bit more of defense and allowing your dive tanks to be the nuisance that they are, could have proved more useful, but we'll never know now. But 2 minutes 10 seconds remaining on the clock as the aggression goes into the high ground now for UnKomitted. Sleep Dart comes into Dead Optics, but not able to get the follow-up to take them out of the fight. Melt's just sitting there charging up that punch over and over again, getting ready to hit whoever comes through that door first. As they still are waiting for them to push up, it is a fast push coming in now as Shiro makes their way into the backline, looking to see if they can get an initial pick, and Melts will be the one to fall to Andy Slam's Fire Strike. The Immortality Field now going down to Peter, when everybody is getting staggered. The Nano going into Andy Slam. They have the Shatter online ready to use as Shiro, Andy, and Sentinel all cleaning it up. Shatter goes in the room, gets nothing of value. Oh! Oh no! The gravitic flux coming in from Legs, but without their legs touching the objective, they Sigma 9 themselves. And it'll be another map going to the side of UnKomitted, currently sitting 2-0 in this best of 4 series. Or first of 4 series.
Here we see the big Molten Core. And like I said, that Torp turret in a very funky spot. You don't really see too often. Just excellent job done on the side of UnKomitted there.
And this is something that we're some might be kind of surprised about, just seeing the kind of back and forth that is going down tonight. Corvidity, though, just finding themselves over and over again getting getting taken out. And maybe it's because of the bans that we're dealing with right now. I don't know if Corvidity's dive composition typically uses Tracer, but with Tracer being banned, it's kind of hard to run that if you don't have that available. Looking at UnKomitted, it looks like they could have had some issues for tonight with Ice not showing up, but as you see, Ice is here and available. But it does make one wonder if Ice wasn't here, if we'd be watching a completely different game right now.
Yeah, it's just like we mentioned, that Tracer was one of the things that really got going for them. And also on Corvidity, though, like that Tracer just pick is such a great thing for dive. That's a huge ban. And that's a ban that I know a lot of people are sad about because a lot of people like watching Tracer, a lot of people like playing Tracer. She's one of the just gotta fix that. She's one of the favorites, that's why she's the mascot. A lot of people just like playing with her.
Mm-hmm. Completely understandable. It looks like we are going to see Ice get swapped out for Cubed, though, and that's not a joke, folks. It's literally the names of the two people here, so more like a yin to a yang, it seems, on the side of UnKomitted. And Sorcery Pepe going to be coming back, or no, I guess they're going to, we're going to be seeing them come in as well. I gotta say, this is going to be an interesting setup as we head to our third map of the evening, Eichenwald, our hybrid map. Could see some interesting setups coming here from Corvidity. They could come out once again with the dive. Definitely great for first and second objective. Third objective, a little questionable, but if it works just about as successfully as it did on Temple of Anubis, maybe that Death Ball comp that they were running is a better option for them. So let's go ahead and look into the chat, see what everybody has been talking about. Looks like there's a lot of love for the fattest of Shatters coming from Charge 41, and between both Andy Slam and who was it, Dead Optics, their Shatters have just been back and forth. Sometimes they go into shields and sometimes they're absolutely huge and fat. So we definitely got a huge battle of the Rhines in this fight. Lights F in the chat saying, dang, the donation button don't work. I want to show my support. Well, you know what, Lights? I'm sorry that the donation button doesn't work. I don't know if that's still left over from when we did our mid-season fundraiser.
Yeah, I believe so.
But you can show your support to Overwatch Tranquility by hitting that heart and punching that bell so you get notified every time that we are online without having to look at the schedule. You can also hit that sub button. $4.99 or Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription will give you free access to some amazing emotes and support our awesome community. So let's go ahead and check out what our teams are doing as we head into Eichenwald.
Yeah, and it looks like, okay, we swapped the teams, so so we now have UnKomitted on the left-hand side, the top left, and they are coming out on a very, appears like a hybrid comp here. So they have some brawl, they have some poke, and I like it actually. They're gonna be able to move around, rotate very quickly to get these this poke damage at a lot of different angles, and this can be very, very devastating for Corvidity.
And it looks like we have something very similar on Corvidity as well. We've got the Echo Mercy coming out with Sorcery and Keo right there. Legs opting for the Zarya over the Diva this time around, but Peter immediately with the pick onto Sorcery. Pepe is going to go ahead and try to shut down this push before it even starts, but Legs going to take down Shiro in return as they go ahead and make their way into Objective Alpha. Looking, swinging, those Rhines going back and forth right now as Melt's retreating back to the safety of the team, trying to get some healing. The lamp currently up for the side of UnKomitted as they try to get some healing back out. The Melts immediately back in with that big old fist. Sentinel able to take them out in return. Dead Optics returning the favor with that Fire Strike though, and it is just a feed fest right now on this objective. We see Kouros trying to hold on as long as they possibly can, but alone Lucio against 4 on the objective. It's just not a Cinderella story that we would see being successful right there. Objective Alpha gonna be captured. 2.5 minutes added to the clock as Corvidity makes their way into the streets of Icon.
Yeah, very quick nano built up on the side of Jackrabbit. And also, we see the power bringing the Mercy in. UnKomitted able to get the first pick, but a quick res by Kyo. Able to turn the fight back into a 6v6, and then a quick pick again made it a 6v5. Oh, that's the one that you can't res.
Yep, Shiro immediately getting Kyo with the laser right there, but it's going to trade it in. 2 and 2 right there. Melts almost taking down Cubed right there as the Meteor Strike allows them to retreat back to the safety of the team. Does end up taking down Andy Slam as Shiro trades for legs with that beam once again. Melts getting back to the safety of the team as the rest of UnKomitted go ahead and retreat to that high ground right now. Without a shield, they're having a hard time holding on as Melts with that elbow drop, getting Shiro once again. And that payload is just moving furiously forward. And now we're seeing some McCree action as Sentinel throws the Diva Bomb on the high ground, but there ain't nobody there. Nobody's there to get that Diva Bomb to the face. But it looks like Shiro is going to take Sorcery Pepe out of that McCree ultimate before they can even say it.
And this is what we've seen out of Corvidity the last couple of weeks, this unbridled aggression. This is what we've been waiting for out of them. They've been playing fairly passive the last 2 maps, and now they're just ready to go with this Doomfist Echo comp. Brought out something new out of them.
Hey, and it's working out really well for them too. And now we're seeing Shiro coming out on the Doomfist with that ultimate Shatter coming in from Andy Slam. Now Meteor Strike in from Shiro. Ends up taking down Jackrabbit in the backline, but the res coming in from Shiro to save the day as Kouros sends Dead Optic to the grave with a punch. They are continuing to hold control of this objective as the Meteor Strike comes in. Cubed able to jump out of the way at the last second. Sorcery taking down Peter though as Jackrabbit follows up on Cubed on that objective. It's a 4v6 fight right now as we see. Now Sorcery coming back in as the Rhine gets tackled off. Oh no! Just able to get saved right there at the end. Ends up sending Andy Slam over the edge as Sorcery then follows them for some reason or another.
Oh, Kyo! Somebody save Kyo! Somebody save Kyo!
Oh, was Kyo over there too?
He was over there as well.
As you see the river take their body away. Just unfortunate. But they did grab the objective. They do have 4 minutes on the clock as they push into objective 3. And I gotta say, they've got a fire under their buns now.
Yeah, they are minus a Mercy, though. Nobody going back to taxi the Mercy forward, but we saw again that fight. The big advantage of having that Mercy rig. Oh, that bomb's gonna be big.
Legs with the cheeky bomb in the corner. We saw Sentinel preparing for the Diva Bomb to actually go further back, but ended up getting caught on the pillar. The shields were not able to grab it, ends up taking down the tanks, grabbing the objective, and pushing their way into objective 3 with a very little resistance.
Yeah, they have not lost very many fights this push. They are just going in very, very strong, but double shield now. Tough to shatter into.
True, tough to shatter, but not tough to punch through right now. As we see Melts getting the nano, gets the double kill as they come in with the Meteor Strike. Dead Optics taking Shiro to the grave with the tackle as they clean up Kouros and Sentinel. 2 minutes, 58 seconds remaining on the clock as they grab objective 3. And I gotta say, it seems like Corvidity have now found a way to put UnKomitted in the grave.
I think Corvidity's warmed up. I think they're ready to go now. Wow, that was an absolutely monstrous attack. 3 minutes pretty much left in the time bank. And that can go up if fun enough, if they cap with, under a minute but more than 0, they can actually add time to their bank. But man, what an awesome attack with this Echo Doomfist. Just the amount of blow up that they have is frightening. With the Doomfist punch can one shot, or he can even get them weak for the sticky bombs, for the focus beam of the Echo. And Echo with this Mercy pocket now. Well, I don't want to say pocket because she's flying around. She's helping everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But with this kind of Mercy focusing on and assisting her, we'll say that, you know.
Well, I do gotta say, people in the chat
so
giving
much damage.
lots of Omega lols for Kyo's death earlier in the fight. Just the Mercy floating down. You just hear the recorder version of "My Heart Will Go On."
I prefer the kazoo cover.
Oh, of course, so much better than the recorder. Nevertheless, though, we're going to see the same composition come in for the defense, except Leg's going to take on the Diva to start off this time around. Sentinel opting for the Zarya in this fight, and Shiro going for the Hanzo for this fight. Definitely going to be an interesting setup. They've already given up a lot of space right now as Sorcery able to take down Shiro in that backline. Andy Slam and Dead Optics going at it, but the hammer is stronger for Andy Slam. Oh, but they get slammed into the corner by Melts, and Sorcery taking down Peter. That's going to be hard to keep that all together. Kyo comes in with the res for Dead Optics, and that is going to be a point held as they go ahead and punch Kouros into oblivion, shaving 45 seconds off the clock.
Yes, Sorcery and Melts absolutely in sync right now. This is just an unbelievable change in the DPS that we see on this map. There's the coordination, the death dealing. There's no other way to put it. These guys are just doing a fantastic job.
And I do want to remind people as the Nano comes in, interrupting my reminder, gets the double kill there onto the DPS. That's going to shut down the push before it even begins. I want to let everybody know the teams did swap sides, but due to the way that Overwatch lobbies are set up, we couldn't change the names because it was set up. Were the names swapped?
We got them changed on the overlay.
Okay.
We have them changed on the overlay.
Okay, as long as they're changed on the overlay, that's all that matters. But Corvidity still holding incredibly strong. 2 minutes, 15 seconds on the clock, and UnKomitted is having a hard time touching this objective.
Yeah, they haven't even sniffed it yet. And that can change things.
That might be it. Graviton and the Deadeye ends up taking down the DPS. The Sentinel able to follow up onto Kyo. And now we're going to see Sorcery opting over to the Rhine, but ends up getting taken down by Sentinel immediately. Leg's able to follow up onto Shiro, though, now coming in on the Ashe. But it looks like Objective Alpha will finally be captured. Melts is back into the fight. We're going to get stunned out by a tackling Rhine, and Sentinel's going to go ahead and solidify that kill. Diva Bomb now going on to the objective. The stagger still holding.
They are committed to this.
The Diva Bomb was way too high, just did not get the damage it needed to be. Now we're going to see a nanoed Rhine in the action right now, just swinging for the heavens with Melts just taking a nap over there on the side. Not going to be able to get some damage in, but now we got some Nano Diva legs coming in. The Antidote's going in on both sides, and Peter coming back in to clean up on that McCree, gets the triple kill, grabs the objective, and gives them 3.5 minutes to push through the streets.
Yeah, I was questioning the recontest there, but they were able to get some ultimates out of the side of UnKomitted, and they stalled for about an extra 30 seconds, and they are just playing the time bank game here. They know they have a ton of time saved up, and as every second they waste is more power in their hands.
Hopefully they can end up holding them from pushing all the way through, but the more time they shave off that bank, already UnKomitted getting ready to be under the time bank of Corvidity right now as they're just waiting to re-engage. Here they go, making their way into the objective as the solo grab comes in onto Dead Optics, ends up getting slammed by Andy Slam into the wall. But Legs and Sorcery working in that backline, gonna get some ults of their own, and now Sorcery coming back in with some Rhine action, looking to see if they can get that pick, but Shiro with that Death Laser from behind is going to prevent that from being successful. Sorcery being the only one to really engage the objective, gonna get taken down by Peter, but another minute is shaved off the time bank.
That has to be extremely annoying for the Reinhardt there, for Andy. You kill one Reinhardt, you turn around, there's another Reinhardt just sitting there waiting for you. Didn't I just deal with you?
Second one? Who said that this was total mayhem? Or what is it? Almost unlimited heroes.
Yeah.
Peter though, coming in with the Deadeye and getting the one person they needed to get, but the slam coming in onto Andy. Oh, legs with the
Big
Diva Bomb ends up getting thrown backwards by the payload. Oh, but left Shatter onto the. Oh, Andy Slam ends up getting countercharged off the objective and right over the side when they end up falling to the ground. That's going to shut down this push completely. Well, actually, maybe not. We're going to see...
They have another Reinhardt.
Shiro come in with a Reinhardt of their own. Graviton from Sentinel looking to see if they can clean up the team. They will end up getting taken out of that before the Shatter can come out. High noon again from Peter ends up taking down Kouros. Now we see legs taking down Andy Slam after the tackle from Dead Optics. A minute remaining on the clock and the fight is still ensuing on the objectives. Only the tanks and Melts remaining as Melts swaps over to the McCree, taking Kouros out of the sky as they have now swapped over to that Mercy Echo comp as well. Melts is just going to take that out, and they're going to go ahead and push them back. 40 seconds remaining on the clock for them to take objective 2.
And that shows you the power of Echo there. Yeah, the Reinhardt gets taken out. I was like, I'll fill that spot right there, and goes in. But up to the task is Dead Optics, able to take out both Reinhardts. And an excellent charge onto Andy, getting him off, but still staying on the map himself. That was just absolute beauty to see.
That was great. The high noon now coming in from Peter, looking to see if they can get that pick.
Another one.
Taking down Sorcery, but Melts with a Deadeye of their own takes down Shiro and Cube. Shatter coming in, gets the double as they tackle Peter off the objective. Andy Slam holding on to Dead Optics as well. Remembering they have to get back onto the payload though, because that's where the action's happening, folks. Nano now going in onto legs as they try to hold on to this objective. The Graviton gets used, ends up taking down Kyo as the Diva Bomb going into the backline gets nothing but shield. They're trying to hold on as Peter now coming back in as the Doomfist. I swear we are seeing just like mirrored compositions at like different times in this fight. Peter getting the uppercut on the Jackrabbit as Shiro takes down Dead Optics. A minute and a half will be added to the time bank as they grab objective 2 and head their way into the Cathedral.
Absolutely, what a fun fight to watch. That was insane. But I feel like Corvidity's goal here, yes, obviously they want to stop them and just flat out win the map, but with the huge time they had, just get them to 0, get them to overtime, take your 3-minute time bank to get a tick, and just take it at that. So just stall out here. Use your ultimates to stall. I think that would be probably the best fight for them, because right now, UnKomitted has
man! A tackled Ryan from Shiro allows Andy Slam to get a big slam! They're not going to be able to follow up on it, unfortunately. Peter and Andy take down their counters on Ryan and Doom as the the Graviton Surge coming in from Sentinel ends up getting the double kill right there. 7 seconds remaining on the clock. Melts just barely able to touch the objective again. That's going to add a minute to the time bank for the side of UnKomitted, with now 3 minutes 33 seconds for the side of Corvidity. They are not out of the woods yet.
I'm pretty sure I saw 4 shatters in that fight. I'm not. So that was fun for casting purposes.
It's a shatter, and then another shatter, and another shatter, and another one.
And that is why I mentioned earlier that ult trackers hate Echo, because it's just like, okay, they might have shatter going into this fight. Oh wait, they have to. Okay, well, okay, there's a shatter. Okay, we don't have to worry about shatter. Oh no, wait. Okay, wait, no, they have another shatter.
I love the strategy that they used to start that off, though. It was great. Shiro turns into Ryan, immediately tackles Dead Optic so that Andy Slam can use their shatter. And then as soon as Dead Optic gets back up, then we see Shiro use their shatter. It's just Oh man, this echo
was
thing just
utter
makes this game so crazy.
Oh my gosh. But also, we have to talk about the added time. So, quick cash to math says there was 25 seconds left, so they added 35 seconds to each time bank there. So, there will be over 3.5 minutes. So, a full hold here, or even just giving up a single tick, would be a huge win for the side of Corvidity, giving them a massive chance of winning this map. Obviously, with the full hold, they cannot lose. They can only tie. Let's see how they handle this.
All right, let's go ahead and see if they can make it happen. Coming back in with that McCree cube, gets the first pick onto Melts, though. That big old Doomfist damage going to be out for this fight as they try to move their way in. Oh no, the red's going to come in from Keo, saving the day, bringing Melts back in. Gonna see if they can take down Cube this time around. Sorcery, nope, they're gonna be the one with that beautiful laser, gets the double kill onto Andy and Cube. Dead Optics and Peter exchange kills on the objective with only 10 seconds remaining and only 2 heroes that can touch the objective. It's gonna be hard to see if they can. Oh no, Andy Slam opting over to the ball. Deadeye comes in for Peter, ends up taking down Jackrabbit as they go ahead and make their way into the objective. The res comes in for Jackrabbit as we see now the dive come in. Cube gets taken down by Sorcery, and now we see Rhine from Shiro once again coming in with the tackle, ends up missing as Dead Optics and Melts just clearing the objective right now. Shatter misses, but the tackle gets Sentinel, and the objective is completely held for the side of Corvidity.
And once again, we see the absolute massive value that Keo is getting on this Mercy there on that final point. Ana goes down. Oh no, she dies with Nano Boost still up. Res her back up, get the Nano onto Dead Optics on that Reinhardt. Now he builds up his Shatter. He's doing tons of damage. Now he gets Shatter in the late fight to finish off the fight. Just a very excellent chain of abilities / ultimates. And that is why they swapped to this pick. And I think that's the pick, honestly, because I don't believe they were running that the first 2 maps. That may have been the pick that changes around for them. The Mercy of all things.
That's definitely one of them for sure. Even at the beginning of that fight, when Melts ended up falling first, the res came in, brought him right back in. Literally 3 reses in a row coming in from Keo, just completely saved that point from being taken by UnKomitted. But now UnKomitted has to be committed to holding this objective. Otherwise, Corvidity might be putting a foothold into their victory streak for this evening.
Yeah, and if it's going to be anything like their first attack, expect it to be hyper aggressive and very, very quick. But is Shiro coming out with a pick we have not seen yet today on this Widowmaker?
Woo!
Goes for the spicy click, almost gets it.
Almost, but no cigar. Sorcery able to hold on there with Keo as they go ahead and push through the choke. Melts working their way in, gets stunned out and taken down by Kouros there at the end. So they're already at a 5v6 right now as they attempt to engage. Peter working their way around the sideline, seeing if they can, get an easy pick, and will end up taking down Sorcery, but the res coming in for Keo allows them to continue to hold on, but Handy Slam takes them immediately back down along with Peter following up onto Keo. They're going to continue to hold on to this objective right now as the fight continues to ensue in the side room, but I don't think it's going to be... You know what? I apparently am wrong because Melts is going to come in and save the day. Nano now coming in from legs allows them to literally clean up the chaos that was going on in that side room. And that's it. Corvidity, not UnKomitted, will take Eichenwald and get their first point on the board for this series.
And that is absolutely massive. There's a huge difference going into the second half of this first to 4 being down 3-0 or only being down 2-1. That is an absolutely just massive difference, and a very good punctuation mark to put going into halftime here.
That is true. And as you saw in that play of the game, just beautiful timing coming out from legs right there. Ends up getting the bubble into that room where I was pretty sure that Dead Optics was just dead. Like, that was it. Like, it was a 4v1. You know, Ryan is completely surrounded. What do? You throw the boy a bubble so he can slap a couple with a hammer. And then Melts and Legs just go in and clean the rest of it up. Absolutely beautiful. But we're going to go ahead, throw it to a halftime break. UnKomitted has a chance to go ahead and get regrouped, see if there's a way that they can shut this down. They've been doing pretty good, but not enough to keep Corvidity from getting their first point of the evening. So we're going to be off for a 10-minute break. Don't you worry. Overwatch Tranquility will be back with some amazing action soon.
Tonight, the whole city is covered white. Life is boring, reassuring. The day I met you, there's nothing I want more than to be right there by your side. In the moonlight, crystal skylines, cross my heart, I'll be there till the end. Right there with you, even though you'll never notice me, 'cause I'm just a space girl, crossing worlds and the galaxies, just to see you. I'll risk my life knowing that maybe I won't reach your heart, but I can't resist. On the night come around, little do I know about you now. I'm pretty sure that you're the one. Go around the night and have some fun. Something about the way you make me feel. Everything about you can be real. I'll do anything to have you here, but I'm pretty sure we'll never be. The fact is clear, we're worlds apart. I don't want this place. Ugh, damn it. Just a space girl, crossing worlds and the galaxies, just to see you. I'll risk my life knowing that maybe I won't reach your heart, but I can't resist. Every now and then I come around, little do I know about you now. I'm pretty sure that you're the one. Go around the night and have some fun. Something about the way you make me feel. Everything about you can be real. I'll do anything to make you mine, but this is goodbye. One more time. Ready? Every now and then I come around. I'm pretty sure that you're the one. Something about the way you make me feel. I'll do anything to have you here, my dear.
Welcome back, folks, to another incredible night here at Overwatch Tranquility. Here in the Transcendence tier, we have UnKomitted versus Corvidity in the quarterfinal playoffs for Season 4. I'm your play-by-play for the evening, Captain Jack, joined by Vol on analyst and Booth in the production booth tonight. Vol, why don't you give us a quick recap of what we saw in the first half?
So for our first two maps, it looked like UnKomitted was fully committed to winning this matchup. Just being insanely aggressive, taking the fight all the way to Corvidity. But then all of that changed on map. Map 3 can't count.
Eichenwald, yep.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Trying to read, trying to talk, trying to read. Not a good combination. But so yes. And then all of a sudden on map 3, this mercy pick comes in from Kyo and just completely changes the fight. Now their whole tempo has changed. Now they're very aggressive because they know they have this res coming in that they can just be much more aggressive with, because they can push in, get the res, and then all of a sudden that trade kill is now a 6v5 in their favor.
And I feel like that's one of the two changes that we saw from Corvidity, because even Melts coming in on that Doomfist, a majority of that fight, was really putting things in their favor. Having legs on the Zarya, which definitely would have worked with that optics Ryan anyway. Just continuing to get bubbles onto Melts every time that they were diving into that backline as Doomfix, getting a couple of picks and then charging up legs so that they could just continue to dole out that third DPS Zarya damage that we all know and love. Corvidity just showing that they ain't out of it just yet. And coming into this currently 1-2 against UnKomitted, Dorado, our next map, is going to show whether or not they will continue this the streak that they've been on. They were the wild cards the last couple of weeks, won both of their matches, which was a complete surprise. As you can see just by the numbers of their placement, we're going 13th seed and 4th seed in the Transcendence tier. Like this should be a pretty one and done kind of thing, you would think, but UnKomitted, I don't know if they were just just a little tired out after those first two maps or what, but Corvidity has put in a foothold, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it going.
Yeah, it would be very interesting if they could keep it going, because if they win this match, more than likely their next opponent would be Havoc.
Ready for battle.
And anybody who follows Tranquility community knows what kind of season Havoc has been having. They are the number 1 seed for a reason. They've been absolutely dominant all season long.
Attackers incoming.
And it looks like we are going to have another Echo coming up. But Kyo staying on that Mercy, and I am absolutely loving this pick. Usually I'm one of the first people that goes, oh, Mercy one trick. Kyo, not a Mercy one trick. We've seen plenty of other heroes out of them tonight. But B is getting massive value out of this Mercy.
And we saw that absolutely on Eichenwald. Ended up getting 3 reses in the span of holding Objective Alpha on their second defense. And it literally is second attack, which allowed them to go ahead and push it in and get that objective, get that tick for their first point of the evening.
We're seeing some fun stuff here. We got a Torb attack.
I can't say I'm even surprised by that. Starting off my placements this week, that's literally a lot of what I've been seeing is some Torb attack action, which is odd, but hey, maybe finally people have been realizing how deadly Torb really is. Andy Slam right now showing to be the force to be reckoned with, though, as Sentinel goes ahead and pushes in, gets the double kill right after. Peter following up onto Sorcery as well. Legs the only one on the payload, but gets the legs taken out from under them by Shiro, as Objective 1 captured with a vengeance. It looks like UnKomitted is not going to be lying down on the job this time around.
No, and that's the kind of stuff that you want to see out of that aggression, and especially aggressing into the Mercy, because right now Corvidity takes advantage of having these longer fights, getting the Mercy Reds, getting the sustained Mercy heals, using the abilities, getting the cooldowns out of Uncommitted. So they know that they need to take the fight very quickly, but Andy goes down very fast.
Nano going in as Dead Optics takes down Andy Slam. Sorcery going to follow up onto Sentinel after the D-Mech, and that's going to push the rest of Uncommitted back to the spawn, but they've got one heck of a time bank to run down with 4 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, plenty of time. You can afford to lose a fight, you know. Get your bearings straight. They got a little overeager, a little aggressive after capping point 1, tried to push ahead a little too quickly, and Dead Optics made them pay for it.
Woo! Oh! I have to say that was very interesting, but that fat Shatter coming in from Andy Slam is going to go ahead and allow that payload to move its way forward. Anti-nade allowing them to take down Sorcery right there at the end as Shiro takes down Legs with the Torb turret. That payload's going to go ahead and move forward. And I have to say, the positioning was interesting for Sorcery. Like, I understand they were probably getting in the air so that they could get Peter to activate their ultimate, but that's not a position you want to be in as a 200 health hero falling to the ground.
No, that is the fast. Oh, Sentinel.
And that's not a good way to start off either. Sentinel with the double kill right there on the Diva Bomb. Gonna go ahead and send the Dragons in to see if they can hold on to this objective, but Sentinel gonna take them down too. I think that Sentinel has finally found their calling. Beat-Drop and Molten Core laying out the red carpet right now. Cube the only one able to get a pick as they continue to push in right there. Now we're seeing Sorcery trying to hold on, but ends up getting anti-nated and taken down by Shiro. Cube soon to follow on to Kyo. And that's another objective captured with a fervor in 4 minutes and 45 seconds in the time.
I don't know what happened at halftime, what their coach said to them, if they even have a coach out on Uncommitted. But oh my goodness, they came out with a vengeance, and they are looking to speed run Dorado.
I mean, they're doing a pretty good job at setting a record right now for sure. Corvidity really got to figure out how to turn this around. High Noon now coming out from Peter as they literally are using the payload and Lucio's speed boost to move with that Deadeye. Legs able to get the pick onto ice with the Diva Bomb though, and it looks like that's what they needed. Nano comes in onto Dead Optics, allows them to clean up the objective and shave another 30 seconds off that time.
Yeah, an excellent Diva Bomb there, just buying them some time, buying them some breathing room. Able to take a minute now, they can finally talk about the competition, talk about how they want to take these fights. Because before, man, Uncommitted was just relentlessly pursuing them, not giving them any moment to just even clear their heads, and this could be very, very, very helpful on the side of Corvidity.
I do want to note for people in the chat, we are having some tech issues in the back line. It looks like we have fixed it though, so that should be updating here rather shortly. Let's go ahead and get back to the action as we see Peter and Shiro getting the initial pick. Sleep Dart coming in onto Dead Optics, but gets woken up by Andy Slam. Just see it taken back down again. The anti-nade comes in fat as the Shatter gets nothing but shield, but they're looking to see if they can take down Sentinel. That Diva Bomb gonna allow them for a quick remake. As, oh no, Dead Optics missing the tackle right into the payload as Peter gets the double kill. The red carpet is out and waiting for Jackrabbit as Kyo able to take down Shiro. The only one left near the objective just trying to hold on, gets taken down by the Torb turret with 2 minutes 38 seconds on the clock. Uncommitted has now set themselves up for a good round 3 and 4 if need be.
Yeah, very, very fast time. A lot of time left in that time bank. But a good job from Corvidity. They had, I think, nearly 5 minutes left in the bank when the starting third point. So able to get a good chunk of that down. But obviously they would have liked more. Obviously they would have liked the full hold. But they would have liked to get it down probably around a minute and a half. But if their attack is anything like we saw on Eichenwald, they can easily match or even surpass that time. So I would be expecting a very similar comp, the Rhine Zarya, I believe it was, then with the Doom Echo and the Ana Mercy. Let's see if that's what we see out of them. But On the side of Uncommitted, we will see a very similar composition to their attack. And right now, Shiro is just committed to this Tor pick. And like we've been mentioning, he is a very, very strong pick right now. There's not a lot of counters to him, or at least not a lot of viable counters to him in the current metas. So that is just a very strong pick. You get multiple angles. You basically have a 7th attacker with that turret once it gets going. And the turret can't miss. Turret has the best, accuracy in the game.
Yep, absolutely. And with that overdrive, it just allows them to get out of hairy situations. It's almost similar to Wraith, but you can still hit Shiro on that Torb. It looks like, though, we're going to see a double sniper comp come out for the side of Corvidity. Melts and Sorcery coming out with the Ashe and Hanzo. With legs sticking onto that Diva, so we're not going to see any grab dragon combos, which I think could definitely be useful right here. Sentinel already getting the first pick onto Sorcery, though. The red's going to come in from Kyo, saving the day again on that Mercy as they go ahead and push into the choke right there. They're going to get stalled out a little bit because I'm not for certain what the heck Dead Optics is swinging at right there, but they're going to make their way back to the payload so that they can start swinging at Andy Slam. Maybe some practice swings before they get in to start doing damage. Turret falling down once again thanks to Sorcery as they push their way in. The Dynamite ends up setting some on fire. Nano going in onto Dead Optics as the High Noon comes out from Peter, looking to see if they can get the hit. Bad Shatter coming out from Dead Optics, gets 2, but the cleanup is hard to get in there. Sorcery able to take down Shiro in the turret, but Peter returns the favor as the sleep dart goes in from Jackrabbit. Dead Optics also taking a nap as well as Andy Slam gets the nano and the double kill. Melts getting the double kill of their own, but with Jackrabbit being the only one left on the objective, they're going to stall out with 2.5 minutes on the clock.
Oh, Andy, that was unnecessary. The Mercy and the Ashe were kind of vibing on their own in the corner with the enemy Diva. Kyo goes down, and then Andy just says goodnight, slams the Ashe into the wall, hits the reset button. And now we do see Sorcery going back over to the Echo. We'll probably see Melt go back over to the Doomfist after this Bob comes out. And Bob, a very tricky ultimate to get in the right place. We don't see a lot of effective Bobs.
Oh, bad timing on that bomb coming in from Sentinel. Gets caught on the roof just a little bit too long, but allows enough attention to be redirected for them to get a couple of picks on the front line. That's going to go ahead and reset the push once again as a sneaky Sorcery just sitting in the back line on that Echo.
Yeah, trying to get some poke damage going back to the Mega right now. It's probably going to take like the old Widow spot up on this red arch right here, but now we see the Diva going back, scouting, keeping her at bay. And now this is going to force a very awkward 5v5.
That is true. Sentinel does end up getting DMAC though, so it looks like the numbers are now in their favor. The Bob comes in, immediately gets slapped. Diva Bomb though, going into that backline, gets nothing but shield as the beat drop comes in from Cube. They're going to go ahead and push that payload in regardless of no picks coming in from either side. Shiro with that Doomfist gonna end up getting a pick as they now come in with the Meteor Strike. The Shatter comes down from Dead Optics, but the anti-nade from Ice is just gonna be too much for them to continue to hold on with just a couple of meters left to push into objective number 1 and 35 seconds on the clock. We're gonna end up finding Sorcery returning back to spawn with the rest of their team.
Yeah, and I would very much... Okay, we got legs back on the Zarya, and I'd like to see Melt swap back over to that Doomfist. Although we are going to get Sorcery onto the Reaper of all picks. I guess trying to get some quick picks. Reaper more than capable of doing that with those Hellfire shotguns.
Yep, and right now there is no stopping Andy Slam as they're coming in looking to get that big slam. Will be successful getting the one and taking down Jackrabbit. Sentinel and Shiro will go ahead and clean up the objective. The only one left right now is Sorcery. Pepe just trying to hold on. The Diva Bomb comes down, but Sentinel takes them down before they're even able to fall to that self-destruct, and UnKomitted will go ahead and continue their lead 3-1 here on Dorado.
UnKomitted on match point now with an absolutely one-sided affair here on Dorado. Like I said, I don't know what changes they made at halftime or if there was bad changes made on the side of Corvidity, but that match was the complete opposite pretty much of what we saw on Eichenwald. Sorry.
I can definitely concur with that, and I feel like one of the things that you kept kind of shouting out and never happened was Corvidity never came out on that Doomfist. We never saw Melt's return to the Doom. Shiro ended up coming out on the Doomfist of their own and just literally cleaning up all over the place. And, maybe that's the comp that they really need to go back to, being able to get that Zarya to bubble the Doomfist diving in, Melt's just getting in that backline, doing a whole bunch of crazy action. And, Sorcery and Kyo in the sky just kind of raining hellfire from above. That's.
I mean, to be fair for Shiro, it's really easy to get 3 and 4K, Doomfist picks when your Andy Slam is getting 3 to 4 man shatters.
Yeah.
Every 45 seconds. I'm just saying.
Pretty much. It seemed very one-sided during that entire fight. So I'm hoping that Corvidity is able to bring it back. Our next map of the evening, we're going to be headed back to Control, which is what worries me a little bit because Corvidity ended up losing our first map on Nepal pretty brutally. We're going to be headed to Busan this next time around, and we're going to be having Khan come back into the action for Sorcery Pepe for the side of Corvidity this time around. So definitely going to be intrigued to see if Corvidity can turn this around. Like we said, this is final fight territory. This is the last match for them to continue the Cinderella story of the playoffs. They were able to make it out of the wild cards. Can they continue to push into the regular playoffs?
They can't. If they bust out that similar comp, that was a very good Control comp that they ran on Eichenwald there with the Echo and the Doomfist. You can run that on Busan downtown, very open. Sanctuary, a fairly open map as well. They just have to worry about Mecha Base. And I think Mecha Base does heavily favor UnKomitted. We've seen their brawl already. They're not afraid to hit that Lucio speed boost and just WM1 into you. And I feel like that map definitely favors UnKomitted. And it just depends on what happens on Sanctuary, I feel like.
Okay. It's definitely going to be interesting to see. Lots of the chat just giving huge pogs to Andy Slam, and I gotta say, Andy Slam, as we've already stated, huge slams coming in. Also getting some interesting takes on the double sniper comp that came out from Corvidity with the Diva on the enemy team being able to eat up a lot of shots that are coming in. I have to agree and kind of disagree. The Dynamite can be huge if placed in the right positions and not eaten by Diva, as well as the Dragon Strike. But I feel like either not having the grab or just, I don't know. There's so many different things that we could have seen change for Dorado, but that is set in the record books now, folks. Let the record show that is what it is. As we head to Mecha Base, the questionable take for UnKomitted with their brawly style comp. It will put them in an interesting position as we see both teams opting in to the Rhine Zarya for this fight. I'm actually kind of surprised we're not seeing any Diva action.
Yeah, but I guess with this brawly comp, they want to try to, and it looks like both sides are going to have the Doomfist. You want to try to bubble that Doomfist as he goes in. That way, if there is a McCree, if there is a Brig or Sleep Dart in this scenario, he's not being CC'd, and that he can get full advantage. He can finally get those shields up, get going, and then go back in on his own.
That is true. Want to give a shout out to Lights for the sub and the gifted sub to Wide People Happy We. Love it. Thank you so much for supporting our amazing community. A huge Doomfist pick coming in from Melts as Dead Optics follows up onto the pick from Sentinel, but ends up falling to Andy Slam. Melts and Shiro trading blows of their own. as we see the 4v4 fight move their way, make that 3v4 as Melts ends up falling to Peter coming in this time around on the Doomfist. Dead Optics back in the fight, ends up getting punched out right there as they try to engage onto the objective. Will fall to the Fire Strike of Andy Slam as UnKomitted take control of the objective.
And that's the fight to watch, I think, on this map, is the Melts versus Peter, because in my opinion, whoever is going to win this Doomfist battle is going to be able to control the fights. They're going to be able to punch the other team around, just dislodge everybody, because as a brawl, you want to be the 6-man kind of death ball. Well, I guess 5-man minus your Doomfist going around doing everything that he does. So if you're able to dislodge that, whoever can take advantage of that the most is going to win.
All right, let's see if they can keep it going. Andy Slam already getting the first pick onto Dead Optics with the Shatter coming in on the high ground. Ends up allowing them to take down Khan as the Nano goes in onto Shiro, cleaning up Kyo, the only one left remaining on the objective. 40% and climbing for UnKomitted.
And Jackrabbit doing the honorable thing, taking their own life, resetting quicker, not stalling out. Because that is something that can very much happen on these control point maps, and that is absolutely devastating. It's just the free percentage that teams can get.
That is... Oh, interesting fake coming in there from the side of Corvidity. Andy Slam moving to the other side. Ends up getting taken out. Oh, no! Shiro in with the Blossom, gets uppercutted by Melts just to take them down too. Sentinel will go ahead and follow up onto Dead Optics, but Cubed and Shiro will find their own sweet release of death as we see legs pushed back to spawn, and the hold continuing on 80% and climbing for UnKomitted.
UnKomitted going to have to back off a little bit here, though, as they lost 2 members somewhat late in that fight. So they are going to have to give some ground, let them through the choke, and oh!
That could have been better if the shield hadn't been there. Legs now on the objective, looking to see if they can grab it. Solo as the Nano again going in onto Shiro. Blossom comes in from Khan, but gets taken down by Cube. The beat drops coming in with the Meteor Strike as Peter takes down Melts. Andy Slam taking down Dead Optics. The only one left is Jackrabbit on the objective. Oh no! Kyo, the only one left on the objective as the Graviton comes in. They've got a touch! No! But nobody can touch in time. So close yet so far away, but UnKomitted showing that they are strongly committed to taking that control point 100-0 on the mecha base.
And Andy Slam throwing out the absolutely alpha Shatter there at the very end. It was about a 4v1 against Dead Optics. Dead Optics was already on the ground from a Doomfist punch. He's like, this would be a really good time for me to press Q. I think I'm gonna do it.
Do you think this would help? Do you think this Q...
Oh, the Q definitely help. They don't get that
make
kill.
Sure they stays on the ground a little bit longer. Yeah. I mean, he seems tired. I mean,
Dead Optics 1v4 is that without the Q.
Oh, yeah.
100% of the time.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, now on this downtown, we are going to see a bit of a change. We got Shiro on the Widow. Melt on the Widow.
Oh, man. Gonna see some oof battle action in the oh! Ready! Taking down Shiro with a well-timed headshot. Peter, though, on the Soldier, working their way into the backline, looking to see if they can get that pick on to Melts right now. Just kind of fighting it out there on the side. Does end up getting the pick on to Melts successfully, so it's a 5-on-5 as they move into the objective. Legs tearing away to try to see if they can take down Peter, but the objective will go to the side of Corvidity, but they're still holding strong. Peters comes in with the Rockets Cube, sending Kyo right over the side, and with only 8% on the objective, UnKomitted will go ahead and take that objective. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Melt's probably a little bit salty. I thought he was in a Widow 1v1 duel. All of a sudden, Peter's just like, hey, remember me? Pokes out from that balcony, hits a couple of headshots, and takes him down and gives his team the advantage.
That is true, and now Shiro tying up the oof battle 1-1 between the Widows, takes down Melts as soon as they get onto that high ground. We're looking at the flank right here, but the anti-nade comes in huge, gets 2. Nano now coming in as the tackles go in opposite directions. Not really getting much of anything. Jackrabbit does fall in that fight, but they're going to go ahead and regroup and spawn. Melts now bringing it up 2-1 between the Widows as they take Shiro out of the fight and start pushing in from the spawn.
This is such a fun battle to watch, although we hit a huge shadow there from Andy.
Shatter gets
Bomb,
nothing
no.
but shield, and so does the Diva Bomb as it's sent way into the backline. Not going to get much of anything as they continue to push. Oh, it is so bad! Coming in from Dead Optics, ends up getting the 5-man and clearing the objective. Team kill rings loud as they swap control back over to Corvidity.
Yep, and while that absolutely massive shatter was going on, Melt took a 3-1 lead in the Widow duel. Just want to get that out there for him so the people at home know what the score is.
Of course, that's the most important part of this.
That is the most important part
battle?
of this match.
Ooh, nice sleep dart coming in from Sentinel as Melts takes down Ice once again. We see the engage from Sentinel as Dead Optics takes down Andy Slam, not protected by their Diva, not being able to help that out. They're going to go ahead and get that pick and send them back to spawn again. 40% in climbing for Corvidity.
Wait. Peter, what are you doing back there?
Peter, what are you doing, Peter?
Wait,
I'm just in the back line. Ooh,
Peter
and
playing
the
mind
battle
games.
back again. Shiro and Legs trading kills as Melt gets 2-3 now in the Widow battle. Looking to see if they can get on the ground. Diva Bomb comes in, but in a really weird position. Andy Slam slept, but ends up getting tackled anyway, and now is going to get the Nano along with Dead Optics. Shiro tying it up 3-3 as Sentinel takes down Dead Optics, and Control looking to swap back over to the UnKomitted.
A lot of ults, though, on the side of UnKomitted for this fight, so they didn't have to commit too much. They did have to use both support ultimates, but you have 4 in the bank. Probably going to pop Widow ults before the fight, and then look to get a very, very big shatter once again.
Can hide.
Yeah, here we go.
You called it. The sight's coming in as Khan comes in with the Deadeye, does get eyes, but Tac Visor now coming in along with the Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb gets the double, takes down Jackrabbit and Khan as Andy Slam kills Keo with the Shatter itself and taking down Dead Optics as well. 95% and climbing. The Cinderella story has been broken as we see the feeble attempt there from Melts to try to touch the objective. UnKomitted taking the quarterfinals as they move on 4-1 against Corvidity on Busan.
Just absolutely fantastic match. Yes, the scoreline may have been 4-1, but man, what a match. Back and forth shatters. Look at Dead Optics here.
Oh. And that was just such a hard standpoint right there. Corvidity just really showing that they could go back and forth with UnKomitted, but UnKomitted just being a little bit stronger, a little bit more polished, being able to get 1 or 2 more picks more than Corvidity could in every fight, and it just allowed them to continue to sit at the top of that pile. Well, looking at the schedule for this week, we have got lots of matches coming up for you. In the Harmony division tomorrow night, we're going to have first seed HJ versus 5th seed Boop. On Thursday night, we're going to have in the Discord division 5th seed Tailwind versus 4th seed Eclipse. And on a Friday night, also in the Discord division, we'll have 7th seed Prod versus 2nd seed Airstrike.
Fantastic matches all around. Me being a plat scrub myself, I am obviously looking forward to the Harmony tier matchup from Holy Jalapenos, who just went on an absolute run the second half. So they picked up a couple players and just tore through the entire division. It was insane.
Well, let's see if they can keep it going for sure. I want to remind you to hit that heart and punch that bell so you get notified, and then you don't have to worry about the schedule that we just told you. It'll just let you know everything. And see, I'll show you how easy it is. It is a 1 and a 2 to hit that sub button. $4.99 or Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription. Apparently my purchase was declined, so I guess it's not that easy for me. But it is so easy for you. You can definitely make it happen.
Folks.
I tried. Typically it's already set up for me, but apparently I need to update my stuff. But I will get my sub in, so I hope that you do the same as well. Let's see if we got any MVPs in the chat. Who would you give your MVP to tonight there, Ball.
Oh man, I gotta go with Andy. Just shatter after shatter after shatter, big pins, big moves, just BDE all night long.
And I think I have to agree with you on that one. I gotta give love to Andy as well. The shatters were back and forth, but Andy was just so on point. More of the time than we saw Dead Optics. It was just being able to move in. That aggression was just absolutely huge for them. So I just absolutely loved the fight coming in from Andy right there. Looking in the chat, it looks like Zuby saying cubed, the second coming of Pinhead. And I'm not for certain who Pinhead is, but apparently that is probably I'm guessing that's a
I'm
pretty good player, I would imagine.
I'm gonna assume we're not talking about Pinhead from the Hellraiser series, but you
I
never
would
know.
imagine so too, although that was the first thing that came up in my mind.
I'm a boomer.
Lights in the chat saying my MVP going to Andy 100%.
Yeah, 8-1.
Oh man.
Andy is running away with it right now.
Oh man, that is beautiful right there. Well, folks, that is going to be it for us at OW Tranquility. I have been Captain Jack here with Vol and Booth on analyst and production, respectfully. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good night.
It is my will that guided you here. It is my will that gave you your cybernetic implants. The only beauty is that meat you call a body. If you value that meat, you will do as I tell you.